You've been told insomnia is a disorder. It's not. It's a memory. For 300,000 years, every human on Earth woke up in the middle of the night on purpose every single night, and we just forgot. Before there was light at night, there was only fire. And fire didn't just keep early humans warm, it rewired the entire shape of the human day. Before fire, our ancestors lived like every other primate on the savannah. When the sun went down, you climbed a tree or found a sheltered crack in the rock and stayed completely still. Moving at night meant becoming food. Human eyes are terrible in the dark. The predators stalking our ancestors had eyes built for exactly this kind of darkness. Ours weren't. Fire changed that overnight. Literally, a single fire creates a circle of safety roughly 30 feet wide. Inside it, predators don't come close. Outside it, you're prey again. Anthropologists studying the last hunter-gatherer groups on Earth have documented this directly. People who wander past the firelight at night are still today far more likely to be killed, but protection was only the beginning. Fire gave us hours, stolen from the dark. Before fire, a usable day ended at sunset, maybe 12 hours in summer. Fire added 2 to 4 more for every human alive, every night. And over thousands of generations, those stolen hours quietly built something nobody expected. In 2014, anthropologist Polly Wiesner spent years recording conversations inside one of the last groups on Earth still living something close to the original human lifestyle, hunter-gatherers in the Kalahari. During the day, 80% of conversation was practical. Who's hunting where? Which plants are ready? Work. At night, around the fire, that flipped completely. 81% of nighttime conversation was stories, myths about how the world began, tales of distant places, jokes that made the whole camp laugh. Wiesner's conclusion has stuck with researchers ever since. The campfire wasn't just where humans rested. It was the original theater, the original classroom. Arguably, it's where we became us, but fire wasn't the strangest part of the ancient night. There's something else, something science only rediscovered in the last 30 years. You are not built to sleep the way you sleep right now. In 2001, historian Roger Ekirch spent 16 years combing through historical records. Prayer books, court documents, diaries, even passages in Homer. Over 500 references spanning centuries, all describing the same thing: first sleep and second sleep. Before artificial light, people didn't sleep in one continuous block. They went to bed shortly after dark, slept around 4 hours, and woke. Then they stayed awake, quietly, deliberately, for 1 to 2 hours in the middle of the night, before sleeping another 4 hours until dawn. This wasn't insomnia. It was simply how humans slept for almost the entire span of our existence. And what did people do in that waking window? Almost everything. They visited neighbors. They interpreted dreams while they were still fresh. Old medical manuals called it the watch. The calm, dark hours best suited for quiet reflection. For centuries, historians actually mistranslated these references, assuming first sleep had to mean something else, because nobody could imagine people once slept differently than we do. Then, in 1992, psychiatrist Thomas Weir ran an experiment that confirmed what the historical record had been saying. He removed every artificial light source from a group of volunteers for 1 month, leaving them with roughly 14 hours of darkness a night, closer to a true ancient night. Within weeks, every participant fell into the same pattern: 4 hours of sleep, 1 to 3 hours of quiet wakefulness, 4 more hours of sleep. Nobody told them to do this. It surfaced on its own, like an old program waiting underneath centuries of artificial light. We measured their hormones during that middle window and found something nobody expected. Elevated prolactin, the same hormone released during deep meditation and after orgasm. The participants described the state as peaceful, reflective, almost meditative, not a gap in sleep. Its own distinct state of consciousness, one most modern humans have never once felt. So what killed it? Almost insultingly simple: light. In the 1600s, cities began installing street lamps. Paris first, then London, then cheaper candles. Gas lamps in the 1800s.
Then, in 1879, Thomas Edison commercialized the electric bulb, and within a single generation, the night humans had known for 300,000 years simply vanished. Here's a detail almost nobody connects to this. The word curfew comes from the French couvre-feu. It literally means, cover the fire. In medieval towns, a bell rang each night signaling everyone to smother their flames. Not for safety, because night was supposed to be dark. In many medieval cities, walking outside after dark without a lantern was against the law. And then we beat the dark, and called it progress. But here's what the win cost us. The average modern human gets 7 to 8 hours of artificial light after sunset. That light, especially the blue light from a screen, suppresses melatonin, the hormone that tells your body it's time to sleep. Your brain doesn't know the difference between a bulb and the sun. At 11 at night, it reads the light as daytime, delays your melatonin, and fragments a rhythm that took millions of years to build. Narrative tone. Researchers have found that people who spend just 1 week camping with zero artificial light get their melatonin cycle reset by nearly 2 hours. That's all it takes. 1 week, and 300,000 years of programming starts trying to come back. We didn't just shift when we sleep. We deleted an entire phase of human consciousness. That quiet, reflective window between first and second sleep doesn't exist for most people anymore. Instead, we wake at 2 a.m., alone in the dark, and call it a disorder. But what if it isn't malfunctioning at all? What if it's your body trying to remember what it was built to do? For 300,000 years, your ancestors spent their nights in a rhythm we're only beginning to understand again. They gathered around fire and told the stories that built the earliest version of culture. They slept in 2 halves, with a window of stillness in between, lying there in the dark, thinking about their lives, their dreams, the world they'd wake up into. We traded all of it for a light switch, and most of us never even noticed it was gone.